Local support for a portion of today's programming is provided by Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggie students goes beyond just banking. By supporting News 22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.
Tonight on News 22.
New Mexico State University get an earful on their listening tour to find a new chancellor.
This year's Pecan Harvest Festival was short one important thing.
And a forward-thinking mariachi musical came to Nmsu this past weekend.
All that and more on News 22 Tuesday.
Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Javier Gutierrez.
And I'm Cristal Corrales.
The Regents of New Mexico State University are getting plenty of opinions about what type of person they should hire for the next chancellor.
The latest stop on their listening tour was at Doña Ana Community College this past Friday. About 36 people were on hand to give their input. Many of those who spoke up were teachers at the community college. Even though the community college is part of Nmsu, they say they feel ignored.
But I think there is a tendency to diminish the impact and the potential that DACC has. And I also think there's a real opportunity here for a new leader to recognize and appreciate the opportunity that NMSU has, given that they oversee DACC, right?
As a community college faculty member, I feel that NMSU is a racist and classist system, and it has depressed my own morale and the morale of my faculty and the morale of my students.
This was the Regents' third stop on their listening tour. They've scheduled 3 more in Grants, Albuquerque, and Las Cruces on the NMSU main campus. They want to name a new chancellor by May 2018. Western New Mexico University is getting more information about this declining enrollment. A census report shows a major decrease in WNMU's dual enrollment program. The program helps high school kids take regular classes and earn college credit. That program decline makes for 80% of the overall drop in enrollment. University officials had dropped several classes because there weren't enough students. Fewer students, however, did not have an impact on university revenue.
The next NMSU chancellor will have a big job to do. The problems at NMSU are much like the problems at other New Mexico colleges. Government analysts say shrinking enrollment and limited funding may lead to tuition increases that fewer students can afford. Their report shows a shrinking portion of the state budget is being devoted to higher education as enrollment declines. Lawmakers are warned that they should avoid tuition and fee increases that threat college affordability. The report suggests the state be more efficient by allowing colleges to meet and combine purchases and services. It also recommends more state funding.
Let's go with Jessica with our first look at weather.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our current conditions. Right now, we're seeing clear skies at 64, winds coming from the northeast at 5 miles per hour, our humidity at 24%, dew point at 32 degrees, and our barometer sitting at 30.14 inches. Today, we saw a high of 71, which is below our average of 76 degrees, an overnight low of 41. Now let's go ahead and take it back in time to the year 2003 when we hit our record high temp of 86 degrees, and in 2008 we hit our record low of 32. We didn't see any rainfall today, so our yearly precipitation sits at 9.47 inches. I'll be back a little later with your national forecast, but for now, back to Javi and Cristal at the desk.
As the NMSU Aggies prepare for homecoming this weekend, so are the Junior Aggies. During the game on Saturday, the NMSU football players will get to meet this year's Junior Aggie members.
At the downtown rally event on Friday, members got to pick up their packages and join the club. I was there and got to meet some of the new members. Something the city of Las Cruces is not used to seeing is all the Aggie athletes in one spot. This weekend was the first NMSU pep rally in collaboration with the city of Las Cruces, and it was also the Junior Aggie Packet Pickup Day, where children got to pick up their packets at the pep rally meet some of their favorite student athletes, and take pictures with them. The idea is to get the kids involved in Aggie athletics. For one junior Aggie, the best part about being in this club is getting to meet his favorite Nmsu Aggie.
One day it was my birthday, October 9th, and he sent me a birthday video on Facebook, and I loved it. So we just started hanging out at football practice when I went and saw him, and we're kind of like bros now. So like, just want to say thank you to Larios.
The Junior Aggie Club had around 20 new members at the rally. Monica Perez convinced her dad to let her join.
Like, thank you, and I'm like, you're so good. I'll give him good compliments. Very excited. I'm so excited.
Go Aggies! We hope you guys win.
This is the second year for the Junior Aggie Club. Last year there were 75 members. This year's goal is 150.
Many Las Cruces residents are upset about big RVs parked on their streets and taking up space. So the city is getting ready to hear those complaints. The public can comment at the Las Cruces City Hall on Thursday. The meeting will start at 6 p.m. The public will be able to give input until next Tuesday. Any revisions made to the ordinances will have to be made by December 4th. The first phase of a multi-million-dollar rebuilding of streets in downtown Las Cruces is finally closer to completion. Construction of the Amador project is currently converting streets, replacing underground aging utility lines, and completing portions of the building that will house city's convention and visitors bureau. Future phases will consist of street construction and demolishing remaining buildings. According to the city councilors and developers, the project should be completed by spring.
Online retailer Amazon is looking for a city for its second headquarters, and New Mexico has joined the race to get that headquarters. That attempt includes Doña Ana County, specifically Santa Teresa. If selected, Santa Teresa would serve as a manufacturing and logistics hub. Albuquerque has also submitted its resume to Amazon. Last week, 238 cities across the nation set in for their bid for the second headquarters. The New Mexico bid is considering a long shot.
Some of the things that they were looking for was a very large international airport with international connections, a labor force that they could hire, and they will be looking for a lot of urban amenities that we're just not big enough for yet.
Amazon says the city selected will get a $5 billion investment and around 50,000 jobs. Local businesses are looking to connect with the community. This Friday, the 2017 Business Showcase will be at the Mesilla Valley Mall. The Las Cruces Chamber of Commerce puts on this event. This year's event will feature a fashion show. The showcase will be this Friday from noon to 4 p.m.
One of the most important agricultural businesses for New Mexico is pecans, and the Pecan Harvest Festival in Mesilla was supposed to highlight that importance. But not many pecan farmers took part. The second annual Pecan Festival was full of music, food, pecan cooking demonstrations, and even a fashion show. New Mexico is the producer of 80% pecans in the world despite being in the desert. New Mexico has gone through years of drought, but the Pecan Harvest Festival owners say growers have overcome droughts before.
Some years are better than others, clearly, and the pecan industry over the last 100 years has gone up and down and up and down. I mean, you have good, but we have farms that have been around for 55 years here in New Mexico.
Accused murderer Tai Chan will face a third trial for his involvement in the shooting of Germany. Back in 2014, you might remember an incident in which Chan gunned down. The last shooting occurred after two men had been served alcohol at Dublin's street pub. Martin's Window has now filed a lawsuit against Tai Chan, and Dublin seeking monetary damages for emotional and financial losses she and her family have faced since her husband's passing. She claims Dublin should be accountable for observing the men and for serving drinks mixed with Red Bull, a combination that even Red Bull advises against. Chan is currently free from bond while he awaits the trial that will take place in April. A Las Cruces man is in jail tonight for drunk driving. However, he wasn't driving a car, he was in a golf cart. Police arrested 33-year-old Justin Valenzuela in North Las Cruces. They say Valenzuela had crashed into a fence and flipped the cart. 3 passengers were also in the car. One was taken to the hospital with a serious injury. According to police, Valenzuela was driving on suspended driver's license. Valenzuela is in the Doña Ana County Jail, where he is being held without bond.
A 52-year-old man is in jail tonight suspected of using a social media to solicit a teenage boy. Roger Irving Cobb, who lives in the 1000 block of West Amador Avenue, is charged with 1 count of child solicitation by electronic device. It's a 4th-degree felony. Investigators say Cobb used Facebook Messenger to send a sexually explicit note to a 14-year-old boy asking if he would engage in sexual activity. Cobb was arrested and booked into Doña Ana County Jail, where he is initially being held without bond.
And stay tuned, Jessica Navarez will be back with your national forecast.
But first, do you want to ask a Mexican what they do? Well, you can't anymore. More on that when News 22 continues.
Las Cruces and El Paso share a lot of history. See why we say Texas history begins in El Paso on our El Paso Gold Heritage documentary series, broadcast Sunday nights on KRWG TV. See Legends of El Paso's Mountains, Gunfights of the Old West, El Paso's Waco Tanks, Mexican Revolution sites in El Paso, and many more El Paso TV documentaries on KRWG TV.
Saturday at 12 noon on KRWG TV.
The KRWG TV public file is available to the public at 2915 McPhee Circle, Milton Hall, Room 117, on the campus of New Mexico State University. Regular business hours are from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. Files are also available online at stations.fcc.gov.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters. Mariachi music is always popular throughout the Southwest, and traditionally, mariachi bands are made up of only men.
The Nmsu Theater Department explored gender issues in traditional Mexican-American families. As Melissa Barraza reports, it was a mariachi musical.
This is Carmencita, and she aspires to be a mariachi girl, just like her dad.
Carmencita is a unique character.
Mariachi bands have always been dominated by men, and Carmencita's parents don't let her sing.
Having this new tradition and this old tradition with her husband, Luis, and her daughter, Carmencita, she's a new generation, he's an old generation, so she's trying to figure out how to mash these two different generations into one, even though it's the same culture.
Her dad clings to the long-held family tradition, and Carmencita fights to change her parents' perspective.
You want to embrace your culture, and like Sita, she's doing that, but also trying to have her parents think in a new way without shunning her.
In the turning point of the play, Carmencita's teacher changes the mother's point of view. And in the end, Carmencita shows her dad she is able to sing in the mariachi band with him. Norma Amador says she identified with the main character. The story reminded her of her culture and her dad.
I thought of my dad, and I mean traditional Hispanic males have some of those same exact traits. And so it was beautiful to see him come around and actually give in to what she wanted to do.
Norma's daughter is already in a mariachi band, and she also felt identified with the main character.
It made me think about myself because my mom and dad always tell me to do better things than they have.
The tradition since has changed, and nowadays you see more girls singing in mariachi groups.
It inspired me to keep playing mariachi.
The bilingual musical was able to send the message across.
You're capable of doing anything you put your mind to.
Be yourself and be true to yourself, because if you don't, you will not be happy.
Reporting for News 22, I'm Melissa Barraza.
More than 36 weekly newspapers throughout the nation are losing the popular long-running column Ask a Mexican. After 13 years, the founder of the column, Gustavo Arellano, has decided to put an end to the program after resigning from the paper where he originally started the column. His resignation came after he refused an order to lay off half of his publication staff. After 2 years, the column drew national attention for asking readers to submit to Arellano about Mexican immigrants and Mexican Americans.
I'm also as surprised as you guys are that it's been around this long, but obviously people have a lot of questions about Mexicans. It's, it's amazing and scary at the same time, but what are you going to do?
The final installment of the column will appear as an online-only edition. And here we're still waiting for fall, but some of the parts of the nation are seeing winter.
Let's see if they can get their boots out. Jess?
Crystal, you are definitely right, girl. We are going to need to get those boots out. So we're going to be talking about these two cool fronts that are actually making their way in the northeastern part of the U.S. and the central part of the U.S. So on my next map, let's go ahead and talk about one of them. So the first one is not as chilly. It's going to create some heavy rain, but nothing like we'll see on my next map. Folks in Buffalo, Ottawa are going to be seeing some rain. But here, you're going to see snow. That's right, folks, snow in October. That is crazy. So if you're traveling this way, please be very cautious of those conditions. They could be seeing up to 6 inches of snow in the darker blue region right here. So as those folks are getting ready to take out their winter jackets, we're going to be getting ready to pull out our lighter jackets for some fall temperatures, which I'll tell you about after the break. You're watching News 22 Tuesday.
The Doña Ana Arts Council, presenting the Renaissance Arts Fair, magicians, jousters, arts and crafts, food and games, Saturday and Sunday, November 4th and 5th at Young Park in Las Cruces. The Renaissance Arts Fair is New Mexico true.
Vladimir Putin. His clashes with 3 American presidents led to grievances with the United States and interference in the 2016 election.
He's going to employ whatever means he can to undermine the United States.
Wednesday at 9 p.m. on KRWG-TV.
Think Wednesday on PBS. For stories from the world around us. Stories of curious critters.
Otters are the ultimate predator.
Sleeping giants.
Volcanoes can have a global impact.
And inside Putin's Russia.
There's this grievance that's sort of eating away at him.
For stories that get you closer to life. Think Wednesday
on KRWG-TV.
Welcome back, guys. All right, let's go ahead and talk about our current conditions around New Mexico. Farmington 61, Clovis 53, Roswell 53, Las Cruces we're at 64, and Deming at 65. For tomorrow, those fall-like temperatures will continue with Gallup at 72, Albuquerque 69, Socorro 70, Ruidoso 64, and Deming at 74. Let's go ahead and take a look at our sister cities. Alamogordo, clear skies tonight with a low of 40 and a high of 72 tomorrow. TRC, clear skies again tonight, low of 44, high of 72, and sunny skies. And in Silver City, a low of 37 tonight, sunny skies tomorrow, and a high of 67. And in our beautiful city of the Cruces, clear skies tonight, a low of 41 and a high of 73 tomorrow with beautiful sunny skies. I'll be back later to take a look at your 5-day forecast, but for now, back to the desk.
A father in Texas has admitted to disposing the body of his dead daughter.
That's the first story in tonight's Southwest Minute.
Wesley Matthews first told police the little girl disappeared after he made her stand alone outside because she wouldn't drink her milk. Now he says she choked on milk and he disposed of her body. Police charged him with injury to a child after he voluntarily turned himself in on Monday. Authorities have not released the cause of death. MGM Resorts says it has no plans to rent out the Las Vegas room where a man shot into a concert crowd and murdered 58 people. Police say he was in a room on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. It's not clear whether the room will be used for something else or marked as a memorial. A Lake County, California man is under arrest after a shooting spree in which 2 men were killed, a woman was injured, and the California Highway Patrol officer was hurt. The gunman is identified as 61-year-old Alan Ashmore. Police say he is known to people in the area and they don't know if the shootings are random, targeted, or a combination. The shooting spree began after 11:20 a.m. in the Clear Lake Oaks neighborhood. The sheriff's department said there were several crime scenes spanning more than 5 miles. For the Southwest Minute, I am Marlene Barraza.
And the Aggie football team has their big homecoming game this weekend.
That's right, and I know they're hoping to win. Let's go with Nolan Fox for more sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in sports, we'll check in with the Aggie swimming and diving team. We'll be right back with News 22 Sports.
On Masterpiece.
George is a cruel man. His axe would fall on the boy who is kin to Ross.
There are no depths to the atrocities which may be committed.
So what will you do? Free Dwight and bring him home?
A prison break on French soil with respectable men who are surely being led to their deaths.
Load your weapons. We make a stand.
His head!
Poldark on Masterpiece.
Thursday at 8 p.m. on KRWG TV.
Homosexuals, women with children.
Get ready for a musical theater landmark. America's original modern family comes of age.
It's about time.
In Lincoln Center Theater's sparkling production.
Be all right for the rest of your life. Be all right.
Starring Christian Borle, Stephanie J. Block, and Andrew Reynolds. Falsettos.
Friday at 8:30 p.m. on KRWG TV.
This is KRWG TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back, and hold on to your socks because I'm Nolan Fox, News 22 Sports. The World Series is here. The LA Dodgers and the Houston Astros are going at it on the diamond as we speak. The Dodgers are starting Clayton Kershaw in Game 1. He is opposed by Dallas Keuchel for the Houston Astros. Game 2 will be tomorrow night. The starters for that game will be Justin Verlander for the Astros and Rich Hill for the Dodgers. It should be an exciting series. The New Mexico State volleyball team is now tied for first place in the WAC. Over the weekend, the Aggies battled for first place in the conference with UT Rio Grande Valley. The Aggies beat UTRGV 3-1 and improved their record to 15-7 overall and 6-2 in conference play. Their next game is Thursday at UMKC. The New Mexico State swimming and diving team is coming off their second home meet of the year. After coming off a big win in the previous week against Northern Colorado, the Aggies fell short to Wyoming. However, the Aggies took first place in 5 events. Their team captain, Picado Bender, won the 200-yard freestyle for the second week in a row, and with a time of 1:54, and Lauren Wood held on for the win in the 200-yard breaststroke with a time of 2:22. The Aggies return back to the swimming and diving complex on Friday as they host their alumni meet at 4:00 p.m. No football from the Aggies this weekend as they are coming off a bye week. This weekend they will host the Arkansas State Red Wolves in their homecoming game. Head coach Doug Martin knows what to expect from the Arkansas State Red Wolves.
It's going to be hard. You're not going to shut Arkansas State out. I mean, their offense is too good to do that. So you've got to score points to beat them. And you've got to score points and answer scores. You know, when they score, we have to put some type of an answer up.
The New Mexico State women's soccer team is coming off a tough loss to UMKC. On Sunday afternoon, the Roos beat the Aggies 1-0. Lexi Howard put a header in the back of the net for the only goal of the game, and that was in the first half. The Aggies' next game will be on Saturday when they head to Edinburgh, Texas to play UTRGV. The Aggies are now 8-9-2 on the season, right behind the Vaqueros in the WAC standings. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Jess will be back with a look at your 5-day forecast. But first, always looking for Waldo? Well, look no further because he's everywhere. More on that when News 22 returns.
Next time on A Chef's Life. I love sunchokes, but they are a pain to clean.
They're impossible to clean.
Impossible. Today is the annual manners class. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Bad manners.
Saturday morning at 10 on KRWG TV.
Coming up on Austin City Limits.
I can't
Saturday at 9 p.m. on KRWG TV.
Let's take a look at our top stories. Melissa Barraza took us to the mariachi musical from this past weekend. Mariachi Girl is a bilingual musical that explores gender roles in Hispanic cultures. The NMSU Regents held a meeting this past weekend to hear public opinions about who the new NMSU Chancellor should be. And the construction downtown Las Cruces is coming to an end. For now, officials say Phase 1 of the downtown revitalization project should be done by the end of January 2018.
And more than 3,000 Waldos and Wendas stormed the streets of downtown Colorado Springs on Saturday. It was the 6th annual Walda 5K run. Event organizers say this is a wacky, fun way to raise awareness. Proceeds from the race go to support the Rocky Mountain Field Institute to maintain local trails and reconstruct the Waldo Canyon area. This year, organizers hope to surpass the 200,000 mark of fundraising for all 6 years of the event.
Well, that's sure a fun way. No, I mean, at least we know where Waldo's at now.
Yes, we don't have a bad time looking for him.
That is just a question that we have always wanted to know. So I'm glad we finally know our
Waldo?
answer. So we were talking about this earlier.
Boots.
We want to get our fall boots out. And guess what, guys? This week we can. So really exciting. We're going to be seeing sunny skies, which is going to make it feel a little bit hotter than it actually is. But we're seeing a temperature drop because of a cool front that is actually coming our way starting on Friday. So as you'll see, 73 tomorrow, 83 with our highest temperature of the week. And for the rest of the week, 60s and 70s. So very nice temperatures.
Yeah, so finally.
And don't forget, you can catch all today's aired stories and past newscasts on our YouTube page at youtube.com/KRWG News 22.
And follow us on Twitter and Instagram for our show updates and the latest on what News 22 team is up to.
For now, that is all for News 22. I'm Javier Gutierrez.
I'm Cristal Corrales.
And I'm Jessica Navarez. Good night.
Have a good night.
This news brief en español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Los saluda Raquel López en este breve informativo de Noticias 22. La policía de Las Cruces arrestó a un hombre de 52 años sospechoso de utilizar las redes sociales para solicitar a un adolescente. Roger Even Cobb es acusado de un cargo de solicitud infantil por dispositivo electrónico. Los investigadores descubrieron que el 19 de octubre que Cobb usó Facebook Messenger para enviar una nota explícita al adolescente, solicitando relaciones sexuales. Cobb fue arrestado ayer y está detenido en el centro de Doña Ana, donde actualmente se encuentra detenido sin fianza. El departamento de sheriff de Doña Ana también arrestó a un hombre de 33 años de edad acusado de conducir ebrio. Antes de las 5 de la tarde del domingo, oficiales respondieron a un accidente de lesiones en la calle Navajo Trail. Durante la investigación, oficiales determinaron que Justin Valenzuela presumiblemente conducía en un carrito de golf con 3 pasajeros a bordo. Oficiales nos dicen que Valenzuela conducía hacia el este del Carlton Road cuando perdió el control del carro.
Local support for a portion of today's programming is provided by Wells Fargo. Our support of Aggie students goes beyond just banking. By supporting News 22, we're giving back to the community. Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.
Las Cruces and El Paso share a lot of history. See why we say Texas history begins in El Paso on our El Paso Gold Heritage documentary series, broadcast Sunday nights on KRWG TV. See Legends of El Paso's Mountains, Gunfights of the Old West, El Paso's Waco Tanks, Mexican Revolution sites in El Paso, and many more El Paso TV documentaries on KRWG TV.
Sunday at 10:30 p.m. on KRWG TV.
This is KRWG Las Cruces, serving the entire region thanks to your support. Become a member anytime at krwg.org.
I'm Henry Louis Gates Jr. Welcome to Finding Your Roots. In this episode, we'll meet film director Ava DuVernay, social activist Janet Mock, and journalist Ta-Nehisi Coates. Three visionaries who've changed our understanding of Black America while knowing little about the ancestors who